Hey guys, welcome to week 5 to KHP 241 Basketball Coaching Fundamentals. Again, with this week, we're just going to elaborate on kind of what we talked about last week as far as offenses go and things of that nature. Again, do not forget to be brainstorming about you're going to have to teach somebody how to shoot a free throw or shoot a shot the proper way, to play correct defense. You're going to make sure you go ahead and get in line or get the thought process going about who you want to do that with and how you want to share that with everybody. I'll put something in the forum probably by the end of this week, so you all can go ahead and get that done. That will be worth probably at least no more than 50 or 60% of your grade, and it can be short. It can be 3 to 10 minutes long, however long you need to teach the proper technique of whatever skill you're going to do. Let's get into the week 5 right here. Offensively, when choosing an offense, the number one thing to know probably is your players' strengths and their weaknesses. Okay, got to know their strengths, got to know their weaknesses, so that you can put the proper offense together. If it's motion, if it's early transition, we kind of talked about that transition last week. If it's slowing it down and playing sets, or just any type of offense. You got to know your personnel. If you got a lot of guards, you probably don't want to play a 3 out and 2 in, where bigs usually dominate that. Where you might want to go, if you have a bunch of guards, you might want to go to a 5 out offense and have everybody on the perimeter and space the floor. Getting into spacing right there, floor spacing is so important, guys. It's everything when it comes to an offense. Besides valuing the ball and limiting your turnovers, floor spacing is right up there with things that you must have to have a successful offense. And basically, let's just make it simple. Never be in a situation where one defender can guard 2 players. I'm going to say that again. Never be in a situation where one defender can guard 2 players. And remember, if you remember last week, my goal on offense is to get 2 people to guard 1. So if you have improper spacing, that will never happen, which actually the opposite happens. If you don't have proper spacing, 1 person can guard 2, and you never want that in any type of offense you are doing. You want the floor space, and balanced format. When they set screens, you want them going off those ball screens hard and flashing to the rim and creating space, because you're trying to get 2 people to guard 1. That's all offense is. Try to get 2 people to guard 1 of yours. So floor spacing is just, I can't tell you all how important it is. And with floor spacing, you must be moving. You must be moving. You never stand still. When you take a break and stand still, guess what the defense is doing? They're taking a break and standing still as well. So it's always important to keep your floor space, move without the ball. When you're moving without the ball, we'll get into ball screens a little bit more, what type of ball screens there are in basketball, and we'll probably hit about every single one of them, because there's probably some of those that you guys might not know. I have a friend from VCU that shared with me some of the ball screens Shaka Smart actually does, and I will put that on here for you all. None of that will probably be on the test or anything like that, but I will just put that on there for you basketball gurus that want to go over that and look at the different types of ball screens there are in our sport. But getting back to moving without the ball, when you move without the ball, it keeps the defense. They have to work. And there's another important thing on offense. Do not take a rush quick shot. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Okay? You get 35 seconds in a college game. In high school, you don't even have a shot clock right now, which I think that's crazy. But and then obviously the NBA has 24 seconds. But be patient. Have great shot selection. Have great shot selection, because that will result to getting points on that scoreboard. And obviously the goal in offense is to put points on that scoreboard in some way, form, or fashion. Whether getting to the free throw line and being aggressive, or whether pushing that ball early in transition right there and trying to get an easy shot for a fast break, or slowing it down and getting a set and getting the shot that your team needs best. So I'll always remember those things: floor spacing, moving without the ball is important. Setting screens is vital, and great shot selection with whatever offense you guys are doing. I will say this: when you first get a team, you be detailed as much as you can. You be detailed as much as you can, and I would not start out trying to go live right offhand. Make sure you teach it first. Teach it. I don't let our players go live with any type of offense we are doing until I know they got everything perfect. Until they got everything perfect, whether that's transition, whether that's our set plays, anything that we do offensively, I dummy it first. And what I mean by dummy is 5-on-0, 5-on-0. And I know it's boring to them, but if one of them will mess up, I promise you, then we start back at 0, and we don't go live until every single person has our offense, especially our transition offense. That's the number one thing, especially you're going to have a team that plays quick and things of that nature. But dummy the offense first, go 5-on-0, and get that muscle memory into their system, into their brain, and keep teaching it. Keep teaching all the details, all the spacing details. Where exactly do you want this screen? When does a person, if you have a role replace guy, when does he replace the role guy on the screen? Where at spacing? When do you move when penetration is in there? Everything. You go over everything in close and deep detail. So the players will not have any questions. They know exactly what you want as a coach, and hopefully they'll do that. And the ones that do it your way, obviously will be the ones that are playing. But next thing we're going to get into, I'm sure you all watch a lot of basketball on TV, and you probably hear people say the back court and the front court. Okay, the back court are the guards. All right, the back court, they're talking, if they ever hear a commentator talk about the back court, they're talking about guards. And if you hear ever anybody talk about the front court, they're talking about your bigs, your centers and forwards and things of that nature. So anytime, that's probably going to be a good test question. The back court is your guards, and the front court is your bigs, or forwards and centers, so to speak. Okay, team drills. As a coach, your responsibility is to have your team prepared, and putting players in situations during practice that that they will be during a game. So that's your job as a coach, to put players in situations that are going to be in games, in practice. And I always like to say I try to make practice uncomfortable for my players. So when the game hits and they're faced with adversity or uncomfortability or anything like that, they know how to respond. I think that's very vital. I think that's very key, and in your offenses, or to creating mental toughness in your offense and in your defense. So let's talk about team drills for a second. Choose these wisely, guys. Fit it with your philosophy that you're trying to portray as a coach and with your team that year. I know this year we're playing up tempo. We're going to play fast. So we're doing a lot of chase drills, a lot of 2-on-1, 3-on-4, 4-on-5, and we're wanting to play fast. And what we're thinking, as far as coaches, we're thinking that we're going to have a lot of fast break opportunities, a lot of 4-on-5s, 3-on-4, 2-on-1. So that's what we do a lot in our practices this year. And then on defense, we know we're playing up tempo, so we practice being in different situations where we're the one and we got two offenses coming in and we're stunting and you're faking and fading, things like that. We'll get into that in the defense. But make sure your team drills fit your philosophy. I can't stress the importance of that, and explain to your players why you're doing this drill, what we're looking for to get out of it. Okay, make sure you know that, because you just don't want them out there just lollygagging and thinking they're not going to be using this to anything that you all do. So explain why that you're doing it, and stuff like that. Be goal oriented and have high expectations in practice. Man, challenge these kids. Challenge these kids with everything that you got. And you know, you want to have rewards for it, and you want to have consequences. You know, the team that might win a drill or something gets out of running and gets to go take a drink while the other one has to run, and things like make it competitive. Okay, kids, that's why they're playing the game, right? They should love competition, and you as a coach should love competition as well. So make it fun. Also, do not. I'm going to repeat this again. Do not make it routinely. Do not make it in a routine. You want to spice things up a little bit. You want to have different drills each and every, not each and every day, but mix them up. Don't make them doing the same drills, because they'll get bored with it. And when they get bored with it, you will not get anything out of them. I promise you. I've been there. I've done that. You will not get anything out of that practice that day, that week. And so mix it up. Dig into some YouTube videos on different things. You can find. That's where I get a lot of my ideas from, and just tweak it to my team, of what I think my team can do. Have a different practice each day. Sometimes I like to go, depending on our season now, depending on if we're struggling on defense or struggling on offense. A lot of times I like to mix it up. I like to go offense one day, then I like to go defense, and then maybe on the third day I mix them both together, offense and defense. And then on Thursday it's probably time for a game. Friday we go back to practice, and we usually have a game on Saturday, so it's a walkthrough of our offenses and things like that. But keep it fresh for them. Keep them enthused. Keep them happy, and you'll see results for that. And communication, guys, even on offense, make communication a key component of every drill you do. If you're passing, the ball to a teammate, you make sure they yell out their name. Or there's a drill that I do. I might show it on here. I might show some clips on it. There's a drill that we do. We count out the passes. We do a 3-man weave with 4 passes, and I make them count the number of passes, so that they're talking, so that they're communicating. Or even in our passing drills with the medicine ball, I make them say their name. We got a kid by the name of Jermaine on the team. They have to yell Jermaine when he passes the ball. So it creates that team chemistry. It creates teamwork. It creates everything that you're trying to do as a coach and as a team to be successful on the offensive side of the floor. Guys, the next thing we're going to get into, and this is very important when drawing up plays and things like that, is how to draw up a play, and what codes, I guess you can say codes, that all coaches around the world use. So there's a software called Fast Draw, FASTDRAW, and they make great things. And you can even email it to coach if you have coaching friends, and you all can exchange ideas. Guys, find somebody, a mentor, somebody that you can talk to about and learn about different things. That's the most important thing. I'm a young head coach, and I talk to guys. Man, I talk to guys every day about what they're doing, what's their philosophy, how do you get your players to play a certain way, how do you keep them motivated. Guys, exchange ideas. That's the number one thing in this business, is exchanging ideas. There's nothing wrong with asking for help and things of that nature. Just be a sponge to these guys, especially been around basketball, been coaching basketball over 15, 20 years. Be a sponge when they start talking, man. Ask questions. That's the only way you learn, is asking questions. I always say, experience is the only teacher. Experience is the only, you can get advice all you want to, but until you experience it, that's the only thing that's going to teach you. I know that's what's taught me some of the things while I was growing up. But let's get into, writing up plays. Got our court here. Got our proper spacing. With the 1 right here, say a 5. I'm going to run a 1-5 high set right now. 2, 3. Okay? Always keep your spacing. Remember that. Okay? Whenever somebody has the ball, you want to circle that number. So I'm saying that our point guard, our 1, which we went over last week, has the ball by circling it. Say I want him to pass the ball to a 2. Okay? What we use for passing the ball is a dotted line. All right? Is a dotted line with an arrow on the end. Make it a little darker. A dotted line with an arrow on the end. So that dotted line and that arrow and then is telling us that 1 passed the ball to the 2. All right? For a cut, say when the 1 passes that ball to the 2, the 1's going to cut to the opposite corner over here. And how to draw that now is to just make a straight line with an arrow on the end. Okay, so a cut is a line with an arrow on the end. It could be a straight line cut. It could be a curl cut, just like this one was. Okay, it can be all those things right there. Now the 2 has the ball. We have the 1 over here, 3 over here, 4 and 5 still at the top right there. Now let's say we want to go set a screen for the 2. Let's go just set a screen for the 2. How we do that, okay, get him out just a little bit farther out here for space. How we do that is you just get this 5, come over here, and then at the very end, a straight line right there, and then put a bar at the end of that right there. I call that a bar, okay? So just a line right here, straight line with a bar on the end. And with this certain aspect, I'm gonna move this 3 up, okay? Move this 3 up right there. I want him to space out while this guy's coming, okay? It's about right here. Then you got, say the 2 is going to come off this 5 screen. The way that you depict that the 2 is coming off of a screen is a squiggly line. All right? Right here, just a squiggly line coming off, and then you point him in the direction you should be going. All right? So that squiggly line right there depicts a dribble. Depicts a dribble off that screen. And then I'm going to try to get this 5-man to roll. So that's a cut, okay? So as soon as you have the bar at the end of that bar in the middle of it, you make a drive, or you make an arrow right there. Trying to play that 2-man game on one side. You probably want your 4 to space out a little bit, okay? And then you got your spacing right there. Hopefully the 2-man right there. Hopefully our shooting guard can make a play and get us a great opportunity to score the ball. Now we're going to get into the philosophies behind using ball screens. And behind me here I have five key points of why a team should be using ball screens. Number 1 right here, again, I always say this is with any type of offense, you want to make 2 guard 1 and then create their scramble out of it. If you can get 2 people to guard 1, then pass out of it, you've done your job. You've done your job. Most of the time you should get a pretty good easy shot. If not, just a great look all in all. So make 2 guard 1 and then create a scramble. Number 2 right here, and this is the biggest reason why I do ball screens, is exploit poor defenders. Okay, when watching scouting, doing some scouting reports, things of that nature, you always, as a coach, want to look for weaknesses in the defense. When you're trying to put maybe what plays you should run against them or whatnot, but you try to exploit those defenders, and most of I have on there that says guards who melt. What I mean by that, you'll find some tough-nosed guards, and those will be the ones that are hard to use ball screens with because they tough it out, they like contact. But there's also those ones, usually it's your shooting guards, the soft ones, so to speak, that melt when a screen is being hit on them. You can just see when they're playing defense on the ball and they get hit by a screen, they don't try to fight over top or anything like that. They just get hit by the screen and that's it. So we look for guards who quite frankly are soft when it comes to ball screens, and then we try to exploit that to the best of our ability. The second one right here, a mobile big. You might find, I know this year we're not going to be very tall. But we're going to be very quick and very, very aggressive. So we'll be playing against a lot of 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and above guys that are that word right there, immobile, and have trouble guard screens, maybe a hedge or anything like that. So we exploit them immobile bigs, and we go at them hard and try to create, like I said, it goes back to that number one thing right there. Try to make two guard one, and then we pass out of it. Okay. We set ball screen in situations where it's very difficult to guard. And you'll understand what I mean by that here in a second. We'll set angle screens. We'll set flat screens. We'll set high-low screens. We'll set drag screens, everything like that. But you got to put yourself in situations on the court, and we'll circle the spots where this is effective. And then it just makes it difficult to guard. Because of our spacing, because we're trying to bring two people to guard one, everything like that. Fourth one, it creates a role for unskilled bigs. Quite frankly, a lot of bigs just don't like playing defense. They like going under the basket right there, protecting the basket, getting rebounds. So when you bring them out on the perimeter and make them play defense against a quick guard, they become not very confident in their skills. And we try to exploit that. And the last thing right here, creates counter opportunities. And what I mean by that, guys, creates counter opportunities. What I mean by that is when we go scouting, the very first thing we'll do is look and see how a team plays a ball screen. If they might just use the time. Most of the time, a coach will just teach hedging or just teach switching or just teach one way to defend a ball screen. Well, with the different types of ball screens I'm about to show you, you can counter that, and it can wind up being an easy score. You can counter that defense, and it'll wind up being an easy score if your guys execute that correctly. The next thing we want to get into about ball screens is the important aspects or necessities of using a ball screen. Okay, behind me are three effective must-haves in order for a ball screen to be effective, to make your offense work. Okay, spacing. I think I've talked clearly enough about that today. Spacing is so important in ball screens or whatever offense you may be running. Again, like I said, it's very simple. You don't want to bring another defender to your guy, where one guy can guard both of you. We're trying to do the opposite. We're trying to make two guys guard one. I know I've said it a million times, but I cannot harp why that is so important. Okay, so spacing, the number one thing will always be, besides valuing the ball. Number two right here, timing. Timing in whatever set you are running or whatever transition you are running is so valuable and so important. Okay, because when that timing hits on that play, you have your wings doing something. You may have the four-man doing something. So timing creates spacing opportunities. Again, it results back to that number one, because when you time a screen correctly, and when the point guard goes off the screen correctly, and everybody's doing what they need to do correctly, it creates a better opportunity to score. Okay, and the last thing right here, this one's important. This one's so important, guys. Your screening angles. Your screening angles right here. For example, this is what I always tell our guys in practice. Okay, when we have a guy out here, I'll say on free throw line extended, and has the ball, and we got a 1 and a 3 for spacing. Say we got a 4 and then a 5 right here, and he's gonna come ball screen. This 5, we make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay. 5 right there, and he's going to come ball screen for the 2. Okay, it is so important that the angle of this screen allows the 2 to go downward. Okay, he should be set up in this ball screen to where his tail is facing almost towards the basket. Okay, and then it gives the two an angle to go off of it in a straight line. And in offense, great guards playing straight lines. Okay, always remember that. Great guards playing straight lines. But if the 5 would have had an angle, okay, if the 5 would have had an angle to where his tail was closer going to the side over here, going to the sideline over here, look where the 2 comes off now. Look how if the defense wanted to hedge, if the 2 wanted to get over top, he can go under and still be in the play right here. That's a long 3 instead of where we were talking about with angles and letting the 2 playing downhill going towards the goal and north and south playing in a straight line. He can create 2. He can get 2 people to guard him, pass out of it. We got the 4-man ducking in right there, so to speak. So angles, screening angles are so important and effective when they are done correctly. And of course, again, that the last 3 things, important aspects of ball screens are spacing, timing, and angles. Okay. Next thing we're going to get into is what types of screens, what types of screens, ball screens are utilized that we utilize. Okay, now let's get into the types of ball screens that you can utilize for your team. Okay, on the left, my left, probably your right. Those are the types of screens that there are available out there. The drag, the double drag, the flat, the angle, the high, the side, and the step up. Okay, going to get into those today. First of all, I want to show you the drag screen. Okay, now you want to utilize this in transition when you're playing fast. Okay, so right now we've got the rebound off of a missed field goal or a made field goal by the opposing team. And one is dribbling. He couldn't hit up the sideline right here. That's the very first look always in transitions, to hit up the sideline and look at our 5. Or hit up the sideline and look for an open 3. Or hit up the sideline and get in that lane. Okay? Anytime in transition, if you can get the ball in the lane early, you're going to be effective. Okay? But anyways, on this transition right here, we couldn't get it up the sideline. Nobody was open. So the 1 has the ball right here. Okay? The drag screen, he's gonna be talking to the 4, and that's where they gotta communicate. Even on offense, you have to communicate, guys. Even on offense, you gotta communicate by symbol, by word of mouth, anything. Okay? So this guy's gonna set this screen. Look at the angle right here. This allows your 1 to go downhill. You got to think about here on transition defense. What is the defense doing? They're all getting forced back because you should be playing fast. Okay? So the guy on the 1 should be playing him hopefully about, pretty close to him. And it's up to the 1 to run him off this screen. Okay? The run's got to run him off this screen. We always tell our guys, put your shoulder to the guy's shoulder right here that's setting the screen for you. Look how I angled this screen. This allows the 1 to go downhill in a straight line. Okay, never forget that again. Great guards play in straight lines. Okay. You can also, and what we do with this after this guy sets a screen right here. Okay, after he comes off and say. Usually this guy's got to help, and one of these guys got to help. And if not, if the 4-man guy does not help, that should be an easy shot in the free throw line range. Or if he does help, the guy that's guarding 1 fights back to get to the 1, and the 1 hits the 4 right here for an open 3. Or if we hit the 4 right here, 3 pops back out, we get a pass over, and we set a ball screen while the 5 goes to the opposite house over there. Okay. So that is the drag screen. Now it's a double drag. Okay? And you want to run a double drag also in transition. Okay? Also in transition. So you get your 2, 3, 4 trailing. Okay? 5 went over there to ball side probably. And, excuse me, all you do with this is, and it's usually a call. You got to make a call out of this. Your 4 comes right here. Boom. Angles that screen. You also bring your 5 up while that's going on to angle this screen, all right? Angle this screen right here. So you get your 1 going downhill. You get your 5 picking and rolling, and your 4 just pops back right there. Okay, so the 1's got a lot of options off that. If they don't stop the 1 from getting to that rim right there, and usually what usually will happen, okay, this guy's going to be coming off this. If the 5-man does not stop that ball right there, a lot of our 1s get wide open layups, or if the 5-man has to come over and helps late, he throws that thing off the backboard, the 5 gets a dunk right there. Okay, a tip slam dunk right there. Okay, next screen I want to talk about is the flat screen. We use this a lot in end of clock situations. All right, end of clock situations. And what I mean by end of clock situations, okay, is in the college game. Obviously, you had 35 seconds, and if we set up, say we get in our transition, then we put a set play in, and we didn't get nothing out of that, and there's probably, I usually try to call it around the 14 to 13 second, and it's usually a fist play or something easy that everybody remembers, end of clock. So that means the end of time is running out. Okay, end of clock means the end of time is running out in your shot clock. So all we do, guys, is just let our 1, which is usually our best playmaker, best ball handler, best passer. Okay, we bring our 5, and we set a flat screen. Okay, he doesn't angle. He doesn't look over here. His tail is identical with the rim. Okay, that allows the 1 to either go left and make a play, or go right to make a play. It's his choice. It's his choice. Okay. And I mean, it's obviously his choice. Whatever, he needs to set him up in a way, then go off. But with that flat screen right there, you can do so many things. Okay. And then the 5, we usually let the 5 roll, the 4 pop, and while these guys, space themselves to get open. Because why? What are these 2 and 3 guys doing? They are moving without the basketball. Okay, they're just not standing. Our 4, anything that we do now, it's timing. They don't go until the 1 comes off the screen. That's when they move. Okay, so it's all timing, but you got to move without the ball, like I was saying earlier. Okay. Next screen we got is our angle screen. We hit on that a little bit earlier. Okay, our angle screen. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and always look how when I'm setting up these plays right here, look how spaced we are. This guy can even be a little bit more out. But look how always spaced we are. But getting back to the screens right here, we're in the angle screen right here. Okay, and all an angle screen is, you got your spacing. You kind of want to come from the weak side. Okay, you kind of want to come from the weak side. You angle that screen right in there to it. Okay, allowing the guy again to go downhill. They're moving without the ball, moving without the ball, moving without the ball. Screen and roll. Okay, and that's all an angle screen is. You just angle your body. Your rump kind of wants to be kind of towards going to the basket, but allowing that guy with the ball to go downhill in a straight line. Okay, high ball screen right here. And guys, I'm giving you all kind of a VCU type look because that's what I believe in as well. That's my philosophy. I like to run Shaka Smart's offense, and that's just how I do things. Okay, that's my philosophy and how I like to do things. Okay, this one right here is the high ball screen. Got a 1 with the ball. Okay. And with a high ball screen, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a high screen. But you want to roll and replace it. And I'll show you all what I mean about roll and replace. Okay? One has the ball, picks a side. He's not in the middle of the floor. But barely shades to one side. Okay? And the 5 comes up. So it's a high ball screen. High ball screen. So the angle screen is more over in here. I don't know if I showed that from my last drawing. Sorry if I didn't. But the angle screen is more on one side of the court, one side of the floor. But your high screen is kind of with your elbow right there. Okay? Allowing this guy to go downhill. Your 5 rolls. Your 4 replaces. And what you all will get out of this, okay? What you all will naturally see out of this, when this 1 goes off the screen from the 5, the 5 man, if the 1 does his job and goes off 5's shoulder there, okay? The 5 man the guy that's guarding the 5 has to pick up or hedge or do something of that nature. So that allows the 4 to come up, and the 4's man has to play the 5. The 5 that rolls, or he's going to be wide open. So what happens when he replaces up to the top, we call that roll, we call that replace. That 4 will be wide open for a great shot or a great reverse, things of that nature. Okay, side ball screen. We're about done here. Side ball screen. And side ball screen is exactly what it sounds like. It's on the side. And most of the time with a side ball screen, you kind of want to overload the weak side of the floor. And by the way, guys, wherever the ball is at, if the ball is on, if you put the line, say there's a line in the middle of the court, and the ball is on this half of the court, that means these 2 guys right here on ball side, 5, 2, and 3 are on weak side. Okay, so that's very important to know. So whatever the side the ball is on is strong side. Whatever the opposite side of the ball is weak side. Okay, we're getting back to the side screen right here. Okay, you always kind of want to overload one side and play a 2-man game with your good ball handler and a 4-man. And usually this 4-man, if you got a stretch 4-man that can pick and pop real well. This is when this is most effective. Okay, this is when this is most effective. What I mean by pick and pop is when he sets his screen, he pops quickly, and he can shoot a mid-range J. Okay, mid-range J. So right here, you kind of come set a side screen. Okay, so come set a side screen right here. Okay, and most of the time when on these side screens, a lot of people like to hedge extremely hard, and we'll get into what that means on the defensive part. Probably the next couple of weeks, but they will extremely hedge hard, and that's exactly what we want them to do. Okay, they're not going to switch, but the guy that's guarding the 4 will try to stop this ball immediately hard and force the guy backwards, which is fine. So when he dribbles backwards, this guy should be. It's a sprint now, guys. That's not a lollygag. So when he screens this guy, and this guy helps, he needs to get away from that play as quick as possible, so that 1 can pass that ball to the 4. For a wide open J or a wide open drive right there. Okay? And last but not least is probably the most complicated one, but might be the most effective one that a lot of people do not use. Okay? And it's the step up. It's the step up screen right here. Okay? And you got your 1, 4, same little set that we did last time, or same little. Say that this guy. And you'll have to notice this in scouting report, okay? say the coach tells their defenders that are on the ball to not let the guy go off the screen. Okay, so when the four starts to come this way to screen, this guy will be defending him on this side, keeping him this way. He will not let him go off this screen. He might even angle his body in a way to keep him this way and to not let him go off this screen. So the counter to that, okay, what we were talking about earlier, the counter to that, when you get your one with the ball, this guy's guarding him, is you got to give a signal, so to speak, and you just tell the guy with the ball, the one with the ball, hey, I'm just going to screen you on the other side. Okay, so instead of coming over here like you would in the side, you step up, you swing this way, and you screen this guy that way. Okay, that allows him to go that way. That allows him to roll. If the four guy doesn't help, that should be a great shot or a great drive lane. If he does help, that should be a great dump off. Easy two points right there, you guys. So, and then the last thing we're going to get into is inline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds. Now we're getting into the inline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds. Always remember to have an effective offense, whatever set, whatever transition, whatever you are doing, whatever sideline out of bounds play or inline out of bounds play that you are doing. You have to practice execution on those, okay? Most of the time, and a lot of times I like to chart this when we have games against certain people. I will chart how many points we will get off our inline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds to our opponents. And I like to chart that the whole year because I can usually tell you should usually score around, try to score 6 to 10 points depending on how good the opponent is on the defensive end, 6 to 10 points off inline out of bounds. So just don't when you do inline and sideline out of bounds, just don't want to get the ball in and then run a set. No, try to score off that. Okay, try to win that battle. I call it the war. Okay, the inline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds play war. And if we can get a +6 advantage, +8 advantage on that, obviously that gives us a better chance to win. I want to hit on this elob right here. If you ever see somebody talk about elob or slob, that means inline out of bounds, which this is inline, and sideline out of bounds, obviously, is on the side over here. Okay, so inline out of bounds and sideline out of bounds. Look at the out of bounds opportunities as a chance to get points on the board. Obviously, like I said, have an aggressive mentality when walking over with these players, these plays and stuff like that. Okay, because you need to score off these. These are very vital into winning the ball game. Okay. The most important thing when you're making your play out for inline or sideline out of bounds is the inbounder pass. Okay, this guy needs to be very heady. He's got to have a very IQ. Most of the time, our point guard or our 3-man, usually our 3-man, for some reason the past few years have been very heady. They usually throw our ball in for us right there, because obviously you can still get a 5-second count if that ball is not thrown in when the referee blows that whistle. Okay, he needs to be very reactive. Okay, he needs to be on instinctive, I guess you can say, because it might be 4.5 seconds before he has to get rid of that ball, and to make he has to see the play before it happens. This guy needs to see the play before it happens, and a lot of times when we do our scouting report, especially this guy right here, I will bring him in the couple of players that I think that might be taking that ball out that game, and show them what the defense might be doing or how they played us in the game before and where it might be open this game. So I think inline and sideline out of bounds is a very important tool to use when winning a basketball game. So guys, just don't look to get the ball inbounds and then play from there. Look to score. Look to score out of your inline, sideline out of bounds. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me this week. Hope you guys learned something. If you all ever want to like I said, use me, guys. If you want some plays, if you're coaching a eighth grade team or middle school team or whoever you might be coaching, and you're saying, Coach, I need a play against the press, or we didn't get to hit the press or anything like that, but I need something against press. Or what drills would you do to get whatever that you need to get done during practice? Shoot me an email, guys. I'd be glad to help. I'd call. I don't mind calling you, or if you don't, I don't mind you calling me. I'm here to help. I'm here to teach you all. Hope you guys are learning something. And we have a discussion board due this week. And then also, again, keep brainstorm on who you want to do that technique on, or the shooting technique. Proper shooting, proper defense, proper rebounding, proper passing. Teach somebody, and it don't have to be anything like I said, 3 to 10 minutes. Get somebody in there, work with them, and I want to make sure I want to see you all teach someone, and I want to see you all teach someone to do it correctly. And and if you're not doing it correctly, I'll email you, let you know what you need to do correctly, and get them at it again, and teach them the correct form. Okay, but I hope you guys have a great week. Keep up the good work, and talk to you guys next week.